I decided that it might be fun to do a little abstract. So that's what I'm working on right now. I got some gray fabric in the hoop, and I'm just going to use, I think, as this develops, I think I'm just going to use assorted green thread. And on the camera, this one is probably, one of those is probably reading as yellow, but it's really kind of a chartreuse color. This is more of a blue-green. I'm having a hard time seeing what I'm doing because the light that I have for this camera makes a glare, but I think it makes it show up on the camera. Anyway, just kind of doing some twists and turns, and just decided it might be nice to play with color. I have a piece of tearaway stabilizer on the back of this. I normally don't do that for embroidery, but I wanted to see how it would work, and it seems to be okay. Where I pressed it on, you can see there's a few puckers where it's coming off, so I don't know how it's going to end out, but I think it'll be kind of okay. And I think I'll just keep going and filling in. I have a lot of different green threads to play with. I just thought it might be fun to try something non-realistic. More like doodling. And it kind of is. I have a pretty big piece of fabric, so if I want, I can probably, make this rather large. We'll see what it develops into. Sometimes I think it's more fun to not have a plan. So this is the White Rotary Treadle, and it is the one that I removed the feed dogs from. That makes the hoop slide a lot better without having having those feed dogs interfere with what I'm doing. You can, of course, if you have the right machine, you can drop the feed dogs, or if you have a feed dog cover, that would also work. It didn't have the option of that on this machine, so it was easy enough just to take those feed dogs out. It's just one screw. There's no foot involved. You just take the presser foot off and use your just a needle, and one of the one of the things that takes some practice is adjusting the tension settings. That's still something that I continue to have to work on every time I change to a different thread, really. If you can see the bobbin thread pulling up from the bottom, then it's probably that you've got the thread tension too tight on the top, and I have had that a couple of times today and had to loosen it. The tension for this is quite a bit different than it would be for regular stitching. It needs to be really loose, and that really has to just be determined by testing it out and seeing, but it's going to change with the thread you're using also. So, trial and error. I have covered the inside ring of the hoop with a thin fabric. I hadn't been doing that before, but everybody recommends, or everybody, a lot of people seem to recommend that to keep your fabric from slipping. It seems to work pretty good. So I'm giving that a try. What else? I've got polyester 40 weight embroidery thread in the machine. I have a thinner polyester white thread in the bobbin. It's one that's Coates and Clark brand, and they are it's the one they are selling as bobbin thread in the same place where they sell the embroidery thread. So anyway, it's a thinner weight than the colored thread. We've got this is a 9014 needle. I probably should try a needle that's specifically designed for embroidery thread. That might improve the performance. I'm not sure. And then, of course, I have the machine is machine bed I have covered with one of these slider mats, and the every time I try it without, I get my hoop stuck on something, the edge of the machine, or the hinge on the machine top, or something. So it makes it easier for me to have that mat on there to keep the hoop from hanging up on things. Now, that's not to say that it couldn't work with without it, because it can, as long as you just don't have things that are hindering the hoop from freely sliding across the bed of the machine. If you have one of those machines with a big long fancy bed extension, that might be all you need. These old things, these old treadles have hinges on the lid and a couple of different levels of wood on it, and there's a lot of things that can potentially get in the way and start hanging up the hoop. So I find that little slider mat just kind of evens out the playing field and makes it smoother, and things seem to go better. The other thing for me that makes things go better is slow turning of the wheel. So I'm trying not to make this machine run very fast at all. So my foot going up and down on the pedal there very slowly. It's something that takes practice to learn how to run it real slow and run the machine slow and move your hands at the right speed. It's just a practice thing that I continue to improve at, because it certainly doesn't happen overnight. You get so used to stitching regular, the way you would sew a seam, that it takes a while to adjust to this speed, which is really very different than regular sewing. And I just ran out of bobbins, so I'm going to stop for now, but I don't know, I think that's going to be kind of cool. We'll see. Well, a little more color added, a few different greens. I'm going to keep going and filling in more. I think I like it. We'll see. But anyway, as it stands now, I like it. So I'm going to keep going, and I'll have a better idea once I get this whole area filled in. I'll have a better idea if I'm going to move to make it a lot bigger, or if this is going to be it. It's a sort of a make it up as you go project, so I don't really have an ultimate plan. As I said, it's more of a doodle than anything else. So just sort of wait and see what happens. back around and do some around this, and then I think I'm gonna have to go back and do some more of this really bright color to give it a little balance. Very strange. Same weight of thread as I used on the last color, and this one is behaving much differently. So I've had to adjust the tension. Oh, yeah, I guess I am. I was going to say I'm not getting enough contrast here, but it's the lighting. And the light is glaring in my face as I'm doing this. It's really hard to see that this thread really has quite a sheen on it that reflects. And so it makes it harder to see what I'm doing. It's really just basically straight stitching, but longer. And of course, because the feed dogs are out, it works in both directions. Whereas the, regular straight stitching, you'd have to only go in one direction. So in that respect, it's probably, you could say it's a lot like free motion quilting, in that you can move any direction you want. So anyway, I think you can get a little idea of what it is that I'm up to. Again, I don't know what it is or what it will be, but so far it's kind of fun. And it's nice to do something a little different once in a while that doesn't require trying to be accurate or follow any rules. I spent a good deal of time yesterday working on hand quilting, and what I was doing there, I was trying to be super accurate and as perfect as I could be, and well, that can be pretty draining after several hours. So that's a nice change. Just get a chance to just do something different. And I don't have any idea what I'll do with it, but if it looks good enough, who knows? Might end up in a quilt. Abstract embroidery quilt, I don't know. But anyway, that's it for now. And I'll show you some more when I get a little more of that filled in. Let me I think it's going to be cool. Anyway, happy sewing. Well, sometimes I get carried away, and I've been having a lot of fun with this, and I don't know what it's turning into, but I think it looks kind of neat. I'm probably now going to make it bigger. I've got a lot of fabric left to fill up, so I think I'm just going to keep going until I get tired of it. But it's kind of fun. The hoop is a little restrictive because I keep wanting to sew where I can't get to, so I'm going to have to keep, before too long, I'm going to have to move the piece in the hoop, but it's kind of a fun thing to just kind of play without having a real plan in mind. Now, I probably could figure out a way to incorporate this into a quilt, or make it into something else. I suppose it could be a just sort of a framed picture, or I don't know. Anyway, regardless of what I do with it, I'm having fun making it. So sometimes you just need a mental relief from other activities. And the nice thing about this is I've got no preconceived idea of what it's supposed to be, and I don't have to measure, I don't have to make it fit a certain idea. I just make it and see what it turns into. So that's kind of fun. And I get to use up a lot of thread. The big pile of embroidery thread I have has really been nice to have. So I'm just kind of doodling like you would with paper and pencil. I think it might be fun to do enough pieces to fill up the whole quilt, but I don't know that I'd have that kind of patience. It would take an awful lot of these to make a quilt. Like I said, it's a fun diversion, but when you decide to turn it into a project like that, I think it might take the fun away. Anyway, just stitching away and having fun creating something, I don't know what, and I'm feeling like I'm about to run out of bobbin thread, but I don't know that for sure. Sometimes I can tell by the way it's starting to sound. The sound that the bobbin makes as it's rotating in the case. I think I'm starting to hear it, but one thing the newer machines have over an older one is a lot of them have a window where you can see the bobbin case and be able to tell where you're at. These old machines certainly don't have that. But I'm getting close to having the area and the hoop filled up, so I'll have to take it out and rehoop it anyway. This thread here is really not yellow, but it's certainly reading yellow, but it's actually a chartreuse color. Well, that's probably enough playtime for now. I'll show it to you again when I get some more done.